The state of Tennessee is trying to help juveniles in detention centers focus more on rehabilitation instead of staying in the justice system.
Stephanie Sanastasi tells us how this affects the main suspect in the Ottawa rape case, who will be tried as a juvenile. Stephanie.
Kelvin, Latricia, today I spoke with the director of counseling at UTC. She explains the difference between juvenile detention centers and adult jails and how the suspect in the Ottawa case can benefit from not being tried as an adult. This video shows the main suspect in the Ottawa rape case being taken back to a juvenile detention center after a judge ruled he would not be tried as an adult. Today we ask, is it better for a juvenile to stay in a juvenile detention center?
Kids that have opportunities to be in more therapeutic intervention type places tend to have better results and less rates of recidivism and going back to jail and reoffending.
UTC Director of Counselor Education Elizabeth O'Brien shows us this study called A Therapeutic Approach to Juvenile Justice. It looks at a movement throughout the state to focus juvenile detention centers to be less corrective and more of a rehabilitative system.
It was a holistic approach, or the idea was a holistic approach. So not only did it look at interacting and intervening with individuals, the children themselves and the adolescents themselves, but also with family members and caregivers, so that way it would be a systemic intervention.
In this case, we're told the Ottawa suspect will be 19 in 10.5 months, which means that's the longest he can stay in the juvenile court system.
For those folks that have been offenders, they don't necessarily have to reoffend again, but they have to be given an environment that's therapeutic, that helps them to grow beyond the incident and gives them the tools that they need so that they will not fall into old patterns of bullying or victimization in other ways.
But the mother of the victim in the Ottawa case says the judge's decision sends a message to young boys everywhere.
I didn't want the young man in prison forever, but I didn't want him to get another slap on the wrist, because what has he learned? What lesson is there to be learned from this? And what example are we setting for other young people or boys that behave like that?
Judge Dwight Stokes in Sevier County says one of the reasons he chose to leave the suspect in juvenile court is because he did not have a past record, and he says the outcomes are far worse for juveniles in adult court. Kelvin.
Thanks, Stephanie. We're still not sure when the next hearing will be for that main suspect. We'll let you know as soon as we